Hello everyone, this is Victor Ling from NewStars Migration, and today's video we're going to talk about the migration strategy reform. The Minister of the Home Affairs has announced this long-waiting and reform about the Australian migration program, and there was almost 100 pages of this strategy reform, and there's many details being covered. But today we mainly were focusing about the impact about students, 4A5 visa holder and employer-sponsored visa holders. First of all, we can talk about the international education system that impact this reform or the upcoming strategies will have on the education system. There's actually a very big impact of the system. First of all, now, when the students apply for the student visa, they need to submit a document called genuine student test. Okay, so there will be something introduced as a genuine student test to replace the current genuine temperance entrance as called GTE. So GTE will be replaced by something called genuine student test. Although the detail has not been announced, but I think the approach of this new GST will be mainly focusing on the prospects of the students' employment or the prospects of the study outcome. So the department wants to see what sort of knowledge and what sort of employment contribution the student can bring after the study in Australia. So there will be some focus switching from the migration intention rather than to the employment aspects. But the more detail will be announced in 2024. So that's the first thing about the student visa. Second thing is about the English requirement, which is coming into effect in early 2024. So the English requirements now asking in early 2024, the IELTS, the English requirement would jump to 5 points for the language courses students and 5.5 for the students undertaking foundation or pathway program. So it's 5 points if you're going for language courses and 5.5 if you're going for a foundation study, and 6 points for the other student visa and 6.5 for the temporary graduate visa applicants. So for 4A5 visa now it's 6.5, for student visa 6 points. So it's almost 0.5 increase across different categories. So that's something will come into effect in 2024. And another thing is also quite significant. That is the age limit to apply for the 4A5 visa. Now the currently limitation is actually 50 years old, but then this will be changed to age 35. So if you are more than 35 years of 35, you cannot apply for 4A5 visa after you study any courses in Australia. This will impact those students who have slightly older age when they enter Australia for higher education studies. So if you are 34 years now, you want to take this into consideration when you choose to study in Australia, because after your graduation, say in 2 years of master courses, you'll be 36 years old, and by the time you cannot apply for 4A5 visa. And we all know 4A5 visa is very important for you to pursue some career developments in Australia or as a preparation stage to migration. So that's something will significantly impact those students who have a bit of older age, so 35 years now. And also another restrictions about the student visa application, that is, if you're holding 4A5 visa in Australia, they actually limit you to apply for another student visa after your 4A5 visa expire. So you can only leave Australia before you apply for student visa. Simply put, you cannot extend any visa or any student visa after you're holding this 4A5 visa. So we all know some people in Australia previously, when they run out of 4A5 visa, they still want to stay in Australia to buy a bit more time for preparations, saying for migration purpose, they can apply for another student visa, another master courses, for example, but now you cannot do that anymore. So that is something quite significant as well. Another change is the reducing of the length of the 4A5 visa. Previously, we all understand there was quite a bit of change over 4A5 visa in the past 2 years. There was a lot of increase of the length of the 4A5 visa. Government give you the replacement visa, give you the extension visa. So that create quite a bit of time for 4A5 visa. Some of the 4A5 visa will allow the holders to stay in Australia for 5, 6, or even 7 years. But now this is not going to be the situation. next year. So everything will back to normal, back to something what we see before COVID. So bachelor degrees or master courses, you will have 2 years of working the 485 visa. Master course by research or PhD will have 3 years. Student in regional area will still be eligible for second year visa for 1 year, 2 years, depending on the location of your study. So this is something which is quite familiar to us before COVID. So everything, the purpose of this measure is try to reduce the length of the 485 visa. All this bunch, the whole package of the actions, the purpose is very straightforward, that the government try to reduce the time of the student visa holder in Australia. So the time you can spend in Australia, it's merely for studying. And if you graduate from the course and you can apply for 485, they try to limit you the time, to stay in Australia in order to control the so-called net immigration taking in Australia. And the government come to a conclusion there was so many temporary visa holder, many student visa holders, and 485 visa holder, and a previous 408 visa holder. They actually compensate quite a large proportion of the residents in Australia, which actually, some people blame that as a problem of causing the renting crisis in Australia. So all the measures trying to crack down the numbers in a short period of time. They try to bring down the number back to before COVID. So these are some impact will directly affect the student visa holders and 485 visa holder. But one of the exception here is actually for the Indian students. So Indian students, who graduate from a master degree, from certain degree, you can stay in Australia. If you study in master course in Australia, you can stay for 3 years. If you study bachelor master course, you can start for 3 years. And if you study for research course, you can stay in Australia for 4 years. So 1 year more than the people from other nationality. This is because Australian government had signed, agreements, free trade agreement with the Indian governments last year. So this is something quite different. You can take as exception. So Indian student would enjoy one more year than the student from other country in terms of applying for 485 visa. That all due to the free trade agreement signed between Indian government and Australian government. So a bit of good news for Indian citizens. So this is something about the student and temporary residence visa holders. The effect were caused by the migration strategy plan.